So, how do you turn a single, absolutely disastrous day of sales into a multi-billion-dollar empire? Well, today we're unpacking the incredible story of Domino's Pizza. And believe me, it is a journey that is just fueled by betrayal, a stroke of pure genius, and a promise that, well, it proved to be deadly.
The whole story starts right here, December 9th, 1960. Their total take for the day? $14. I mean, come on. That's barely enough to buy ingredients for the next day, let alone build a business from the ground up.
And then you fast forward to this, a global empire with almost 19,000 stores, slinging over 3 million pizzas every single day. The journey from that first number to this one, it's a masterclass in business, for sure. But it's also a story of personal hardship, brilliant innovation, and some really devastating consequences.
So, how on earth did they pull it off? Well, it all starts with the unbelievable story of its founder, a man who, by all accounts, really should have failed, Thomas Monahan.
Just take a look at this timeline. Monahan's childhood was anything but easy. His dad passes away when he's just 4, and he ends up spending 7 years in foster care and boarding schools. And you gotta understand, this wasn't just some sad backstory. It forged the very core of his business philosophy. With no safety net, no one to fall back on, he learned to be ruthlessly resourceful, a trait that would literally define Domino.
But you know, the path to building an empire is never a straight line. And for Tom, the first real obstacles, the first betrayals, they didn't come from some rival pizza shop. No, they came from his own family and his very first business partner.
I mean, just look at the difference here. Tom and his brother Jim started this thing together, right? But while Tom was literally sleeping in the back of the store, eating burnt pizza just to survive, Jim kept his day job at the post office. And after just 8 months, a small dip in sales was all it took for Jim to want out. He bailed, trading his entire half of the company for their only asset, the delivery car. So suddenly, Tom owns the whole business, but he has no way to actually deliver the pizzas.
So, this next deal Tom made, it's almost hard to believe. Just look at these terms. His new partner, Jim Gilmore, gets 50% of any profits. Sounds okay, right? But if there were any losses, Tom was on the hook for 100% of them. And to top it all off, Gilmore's promised investment money, it never even showed up. It was a complete train wreck that ended in court and left Tom with all the debt.
And just when you think it can't get any worse, bam, another blow. The guy who originally owned the pizzeria, Dominic DiVartio, he sees that Tom is starting to build something special. So what does he do? He sues him, demands they stop using the name Dominic's. This one move threatened to wipe out what little brand recognition Tom had bled for.
So the brand we all know today, Domino's, was actually born out of that legal threat. Tom was totally cornered, scrambling for a new name, when one of his delivery drivers just casually suggests Domino's, because hey, it sounded kind of similar. Tom loved it. And those 3 dots on the original logo, that's a cool little detail. They represented his first 3 stores. Okay, so after surviving all that, betrayal, legal threats, you name it, Tom was about to stumble upon the core idea, the breakthrough that would transform his little struggling shop into a global powerhouse. And this is what we call the Domino's formula. And you know what? This breakthrough came completely by accident. One night, he was short-staffed, totally overwhelmed, and he was forced to cut the menu down to just one thing: pizza. And the result was stunning. It turned out to be his most profitable night ever. In that moment, he discovered a fundamental business truth. Complexity is the enemy of profit. Focus is everything.
This one discovery, it reshaped the entire business. Domino's stopped being just another restaurant, and it became a pure delivery machine. They literally threw out the tables and chairs. They focused obsessively on logistics, pioneering things we all take for granted now, like the corrugated cardboard box and those insulated delivery bags. See, they weren't in the pizza business anymore, they were in the fast pizza business.
So now, with this winning formula in hand, Domino's was ready for its most aggressive, its most famous, and, as it turns out, its most dangerous marketing promise ever.
This campaign, launched back in 1984, was pure marketing genius. It wasn't just a good deal, it was a challenge. It was this powerful statement of confidence that tapped directly into what every customer wanted: speed and reliability. And the results? They were explosive. The company went from just 200 stores to over 5,000 in only a few years.
But this promise, the one that made the company a global giant, it had a hidden, tragic cost. See, that 30-minute clock wasn't just ticking for the customer.
It was creating immense, terrifying pressure on the delivery drivers, with absolutely devastating results.
Slowly, reports started to connect the dots between the delivery promise and a really sharp rise in car accidents. One investigation claimed that in a single year, at least 20 traffic deaths were linked to the policy, all because drivers were racing against the clock just to save the company the cost of a free pizza.
The whole problem just exploded into public view with a series of huge lawsuits. In one tragic case, a driver hit and killed a woman. The court found that Domino's policy was directly responsible and ordered them to pay a staggering $32 million. And the lawsuits just kept coming. After a driver ran a red light and left a woman with a broken spine, a jury hit Domino's with an even bigger verdict: $78 million. Their greatest marketing tool had become their greatest liability. And in 1993, Tom Monahan was finally forced to end the 30-minute promise for good. So after decades of building this incredible empire from absolutely nothing, Tom Monahan was ready to step away. But the brand's story and its controversies were far from over. In 1998, he sold the company he'd started with that tiny $900 loan and walked away a billionaire. For the kid who grew up with nothing, the underdog's journey was finally complete.
Under new ownership, the company just kept on expanding, but it wasn't immune to modern problems. In 2009, it faced a massive PR crisis when a video of two employees doing disgusting things to food went viral on YouTube. It was a brand's worst nightmare, and it threatened to undo decades of work overnight.
And yet, despite all the controversies, Tom Monahan's original formula of ruthless efficiency is still completely dominant. Just look at this comparison to their old rival Pizza Hut. They have about the same number of stores, right? But Domino's generates nearly 4 times the revenue with less than 5% of the employees. That is a stunning testament to the power of their delivery-first model.
So, what's the ultimate legacy of Domino's? On one hand, it's a masterclass in how focus and innovation can build an empire from nothing. But on the other, it's a really powerful cautionary tale about the human cost of ambition. Which leaves us with this critical question. When you're chasing growth at all costs, how do you even know when you've gone too far?